Winchester Studios, breaking down all the chaos from the weekend. It's time for Mayhem Monday on Franklin County's favorite morning show. The starting lineup, fueled by Loco Coffee. And now for your hosts, Joe Abraham and Chewy.
And good morning, and welcome into the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340, 1069 WCDT Winchester. It is a Mayhem Monday, and we encourage you to get involved in the show. Head on over to Facebook, jump in on the FMO Facebook feed, and you can jump right into the chat. Comment, let us know what you're thinking. If you want to get involved in the conversation, that's the best way to do so. If you just want to, I don't know, come at me for something that I said, complain about somebody that I, picked on, or Chewy, when I hit him with the wax stick.
Yeah, you be careful with how you say that one.
You can get involved in the show. That's the purpose of that thing, and we encourage you to do so. You can actually also, I don't know if people realize this because not a lot of people use it, but you can call into the show 931-967-3500. You can text the show at 931-305-5611. But as we do once a month, what is today? The third Monday of the month. As we do on the third Monday of the month, we are joined in studio by Inspired Physiotherapy's one Miss Samantha Canup. Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. Doing great.
You're looking at the screen, right? So the one to the left, and just to pull back the curtain on the studio here, the one to the left is one that he is adjusting. The one to the right is what people are actually seeing.
Huh.
So he's playing with the one to the left, setting the scene, so to speak. And so you can see yourself right there. But how do you like the new studio? A little bit weird, huh?
Yeah, different, but not bad. Like, it was just one of those, I was like, there's so much space, and I can't necessarily, see Chewy, but, that's not, we're good.
Yeah, that's the one negative. He's looking around. He's like,
hi, I am here.
Yeah, he's in his little, we call it the Wookiee box, the zoo, all different,
amazing.
The cave. We got to get an actual name for it. But yeah, he's hidden away back in there. Helps with the smell, that type of thing. But anyway, good morning. So, we are going to put out your article. You are one of our, if people go over to 931go.com, I don't know if all people know about this, but if you go over to 931go.com, there is a section on the website that is for our industry experts. Mm-hmm. And Samantha is one of our industry experts. And if you go over there, you can see a full litany of articles written by Miss Canup. And this week's article, which we have yet to post, we're going to post it today, this morning, but this week's article talks about sprained ankle injuries in particular. And when we consider where we're heading into fall sports and things like that, would you say that these types of ankle injuries are the most common ankle injury that you see?
Oh, absolutely. Like an inversion ankle sprain, basically like where your foot rolls in and you step off of a curb wrong and your foot rolls or something like that. Like, definitely the most common to see. And it's just very common to see in the clinic, just right off the street, where people are like, what do I do with this? And what am I supposed to do? So yeah, absolutely.
I skip leg day often, and they make fun of me for it all the time. But I have really small, weak ankles. That's we have all got. None of us can be perfect. We've all got to have our
stuff.
Yeah. And if I step on a rock and it's too big, I'll roll my ankle.
Yes.
It can be a pebble. It can be a stone, and I'll roll my ankle. Talk about, I guess, what goes on in the anatomy of the ankle when something like that happens and it starts to swell up.
Yeah. So basically, with your most common ankle sprain, you're going to have that foot roll in, and you have two different ligaments that can be sprained. So they can be just overly stretched and nothing actually tears. So that's going to be a little more on your mild end. That's when it's hey, let's get moving really soon. Mm-hmm. And then there's that moderate stage where you start to have some tearing. It could be a mild, moderate, or severe tear. but you can have that tearing. You usually end up noticing more bruising with that tear. And those are the ones where you just see the really gnarly bruising along the edges, and like you can see the increase in swelling. And that's when people they're like, I can't put my shoe on. Like, this is not working. Still one of those where like exercise is great for it. Sometimes people have to end up in a boot for a little bit, just depending on the severity and like how much weight can they put on it and just things like that. And then you have that really severe ankle sprain where you actually have the ligaments tear. So, and it's not just, it's that like full thickness tear, not just a partial tear.
Right.
And so those usually end up feeling like very unstable. So like there's like a joint can be loose or somebody can be like double jointed kind of thing. This is like an instability where like the ligament is not holding on to the joint anymore. And like you can really feel movement in it.
Right.
And then absolutely you're going to be in a boot for a period of time with that one. So very, very interesting. But yeah, so like a ligament you can sprain, but a muscle or a tendon you're going to strain.
Okay.
So like those end up being the two differences between those two.
Huh.
Yeah.
So here's my question: if you completely tear a ligament, because I there was a while back I stepped in like a gopher hole, twisted my ankle. I thought I broke my ankle. It was so bad.
Yeah.
And my question is, okay, if you tear like a ligament in your knee, you got to have it surgically repaired. Well, what about your ankle? Do you have to have those things surgically repaired, or does it heal on its own? How does that work?
Sometimes they're like they'll allow it to scar down. So I think the majority of the time when I've seen patients, they have allowed that ligament to scar down because you still have other ligaments holding things in place. It's just not going to be as good.
Yeah.
And so I haven't seen as many people like with a severe ankle sprain to go and have surgery for those two ligaments there. Because other things are still holding it in place. But every time that you do sprain your ankle, you lose a bit of what's called like your proprioceptive awareness. So like the awareness of where your ankle is at in space and like what it's doing. You lose a little bit of that awareness every time, and you don't fully get that back to 100% no matter what.
Yeah. So
like that's also really interesting. So once you have that first ankle sprain, like it's just easier for that to continue to happen.
I know some people who have sprained that in their brain, and they don't know they're looking at you, Chewy. They don't have awareness just in general. But no, so that's really interesting. So does it become then easier to kind of sprain that ankle in the future because of that?
Yep. And kind of wonder sometimes if it's like part of people's movement patterns too, but also just knowing that you don't fully get that awareness back, like that's going to affect the way that you move, especially in a sport or like when you're running and things like that. Like if you just don't fully know where your ankle's at in space, like how's your body going to know where it needs to go?
Right.
Yeah.
From a preventative side of things, as we head into fall sports, if you've got a youth athlete who's out there on the football field, or even as basketball comes up, or maybe soccer, whatever, cross country, is there something that you would recommend that helps to stabilize and avoid stuff like that going forward? Or will that kind of more limit the natural movement of the foot? How would you go about that?
I have a funny relationship with like bracing and taping and things like that. Like honestly, like it's not ever like 100% for anybody. I almost lean towards, I don't mind if somebody like needs a little bit of support at the beginning of their practice or the beginning of like a game for their ankle. I'm totally going to push them towards taping, because taping's not going to help support the entire time. Like it's going to lose its effect within an hour or so.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to help the whole time, but a brace is going to give that support the entire time. And it's one of those, if somebody's chronically had ankle sprains, you're probably going to need that. Like, let's protect you from like really injuring this going forward. But as a preventative, I don't lean towards ankle bracing, just because then you're not allowing your muscles to do their job, and you're preventing them from being able to strengthen and be able to react in those situations. So that's where, like, I know like in college, like we playing softball, nobody wore their ankle braces during like softball practice or during their games and stuff like that. But if we went and did this mud run, it was like, hey, we're putting these ankle braces on because we're not taking a chance. Like, absolutely. I'm cool with that.
Right.
But if you're playing basketball on a regular basis and you're just doing it just as a preventative, I'd rather you do exercises and do things that are going to challenge your ankle and your balance and things like that to strengthen it up to where you don't need it as much, rather than wearing the brace as much.
That's a good point, because I remember when I was in high school, they basically, there was a certain position groupings where they made you get your ankles taped.
Yeah.
And or you had to wear the braces, the ankle braces. and guys would be wearing them in practice and things like that. And I wouldn't say that we struggled with ankle sprains or anything like that, but that's one of the things you see the trainers wrapping guys' ankles before games and stuff.
Yeah.
But very few times do they rewrap them at halftime or anything like
right.
that.
And they lose some of their like structural integrity.
Right.
Like they're just not as strong.
Yeah. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So as far as folks who maybe if they do sprain their ankle here, they've got young youth athletes, or they just step off a curb and next thing you know, they're hobbling around town. Where can they find you guys, and what can you do for them over at Inspired Physiotherapy? And again, we're talking to Samantha Knupp from over there.
Yeah, so like basically we're right beside Raphael's and Sally's. So like that's where you can find us. It's easiest if you just give us a call or just walk in and talk to Rachel. Like that ends up being great. But basically like this has been one of those injuries that we have seen a lot of people for, especially athletes. I've seen a lot of athletes come in. I've had one or two like runners that have also come in with ankle sprains, and it's just one of those easier ones to just go ahead and treat in the clinic. And it's like, hey, like if we feel like this is more of a severe ankle sprain, like we're going to send you off to an ortho and make sure that like we're not dealing with like that full tear, and make sure that we're treating this correctly. And if you need to be in a boot, we are. But if it's on that more mild to like moderate side, like let's go ahead and treat it and get you moving, because I think that ends up being one of the biggest mistakes that we make, is that we rest and we don't get it moving. And so that's just, resting is good to an extent.
Right.
But like resting for 2 weeks and not moving your ankle is only going to make things worse.
Ooh.
So like it's just one of those, like there's a balance between rest and movement, and I feel like that's where we kind of miss the mark sometimes, and that's where like our expertise can come into play to help people figure out like what is your balance here and what do you need based off of your symptoms.
If it happens on, say, like a Friday night in a football game, or if it happens and they can't get in there immediately, what would you say they should do for the short term? I've always heard like, oh, you got to elevate it and you got to put ice on it and things like that. Is there if you were to sprain your ankle, how would Samantha treat her own?
So that's actually funny. So I will definitely encourage people to go with the RICE method if they do not know and they cannot check with a professional. Absolutely. You go ahead and you ice it, you elevate it, put a little compression on it, do that, do the normal. I know my brother-in-law, like he sprained his ankle on a trail maybe like a month or two ago. And so he sprained it, and I was like, we talked about it a little bit, and I was like, all right, don't ice it. I was like, don't ice it, start walking on it, get it moving, put a little bit of heat on it. Let's see what happens. Cause it wasn't incredibly swollen. He had a little bit of bruising. And so it was one of those, I was like, dude, we want that inflammation there. Like we want that healthy inflammation there. We want the healthy inflammation that's going to help it heal. So let's not put ice on it right now and take that away, because the pain level that he was having was more on that mild side. So he had more of a mild ankle sprain, so we could do that. And he was also my brother-in-law. So I was like, you're totally going to be my guinea pig. And like, let's treat it this way, because I've learned more and more about this different method of approaching injuries. So when it's appropriate, let's use it. But if somebody does not have somebody there to assess them, I'm totally going to tell them to rest, ice, and elevate until they can get more information. Because especially with an athlete who's a teenager, and it's like, hey, is this your first injury? Is this the first time you've ever felt this type of pain? Can you compare it to something else? Can you tell me that's like mild, or is it severe, and like can you walk on it? Like there's so many questions that you'd have to ask.
Right.
I'm definitely going to play on the like safe side first until you can get some information. But usually I'm going to tell people like, hey, like it's not going to be a bad thing for you to still do like ankle circles, like still pump your foot, move your toes. Like don't be fearful that you're going to injure it more. Just don't go try to run on it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, she is Samantha Knupp over there from Inspired Physiotherapy, again in the Walmart shopping plaza, right there in the corner by Raphael's. And we will be posting her article on ankle sprains here later this morning and sharing it over to the Facebook page. I encourage you to check it out. And again, if you have any questions, or maybe you get an ankle sprain, or one of your youth athletes does, make Inspired Physiotherapy your first stop as far as trying to figure out a way forward. Miss Samantha, thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
I hope you have a tremendous week. We'll be back on the other side. It is the starting lineup. This is ESPN Radio Winchester.
Looking for your next great round of golf? Head to the Bear Trace at Tim's Ford in Winchester. This spectacular Jack Nicklaus designed 18-hole course sits along scenic Tim's Ford Lake with rolling fairways, challenging greens, and lake views that highlight the natural beauty of Franklin County. Whether you're planning a weekly foursome, a company outing, or just sneaking around in, Bear Trace offers one of the best public golf experiences in the region. Book your tee time today at tnstateparks.com and play the Bear Trace at Tim's Ford. This is ESPN Radio Winchester, where Franklin County comes to life. From local news and athletics to everything in between, we're proud to bring you the stories that matter right here at home. And it's all made possible by local businesses connecting with real people in our community every single day. When you support them, you support our local coverage. Over 75 years of Franklin County heritage. Want your business to be a part of it? Contact WCDT today. ESPN Radio Winchester. Franklin County plays here.
Now, here's your ESPN Radio Winchester weather forecast. Brought to you by our official smile partner, Dr. Garrett Orr and Winchester Family Dentistry.
Warm and rainy weather headed your way today with a mostly sunny day, high of 90 degrees and a heat index value at 102 and a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms mainly after 1 p.m. Stay indoors, stay dry, and stay cool while you stay tuned to ESPN Radio Winchester 1340 1069.
At ESPN Radio Winchester, we're proud to welcome Winchester Family Dentistry and Dr. Garrett Orr as our official smile partner. From routine cleanings and family dental care to helping you feel confident about your smile, Winchester Family Dentistry is committed to caring for patients with comfort, professionalism, and a hometown touch. Whether you're due for a checkup or looking for a dental team you can trust, call Dr. Garrett Orr and Winchester Family Dentistry, proud smile partner of ESPN Radio Winchester.
I don't know what to tell you. I know it's not much, but this is the best they've got. You're listening to the starting lineup on ESPN Radio, WCDT Winchester.
Back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester. Joe Abraham and Chewy here in studio on a Mayhem Monday morning. We welcome you in. Thank you to Dr. Brad Shapiro and Samantha Canup for coming in this morning. And whether you need physical health or wellness or spiritual health or wellness or whatever kind of health or wellness you need, we've got you covered here. So thank you to both of them. Chewy needs all the health and wellness. Good morning, my friend. How are you today?
I'm fine, Joey Ram. How are you?
I am tremendous. It's good to see your face, my friend.
Yeah.
It was a hopefully a good weekend for you. I'm not going to speculate. Did you get a chance? There was a pretty big movie that came out this past weekend. Did you get a chance to go see it?
I did. I did get a chance to go see it.
Okay, so for people who may be living under a rock, The Odyssey came out. Let me give it to me. Like, give me that short, quick breakdown of what your thoughts and feelings were. I don't want you to kind of break your brain to do it, but
it was very interesting.
Yeah.
Real weird. And not always in a good way.
So, Rotten Tomatoes score of like 97.
No. I mean, construction-wise, like the crew and like all those people, yes.
Yeah.
But like as the movie there were some inconsistencies that really bothered me, just in tone.
Okay. And Chewy is like an Odyssey purist.
Yeah.
Just so people know. And how do you feel like it? You said it was real weird. Are you saying in terms of like he got way off the mark on some things, like it was almost a different story, or just the tone of it was weird?
They did this thing where they sort of tried to modernize like the dialogue and like the interactions, but they still acted like ancient Greeks. So it was a bit of it was hard to empathize with the characters because he's like raiding and pillaging, but then he's like laughing and talking to his like friends like it's like normal.
Right.
And he's got this multicultural crew of like people, and they keep saying, well, we're Greeks, and it's like, okay, you know, like I hate to be like that, but it's sort of jarring where it's just like they didn't do anything to say, hey, this is a fantastical representation of what this is. What I genuinely wish this movie is actually Jason and the Argonauts. That would have been great.
Okay.
Rather than in the Odyssey, because I think I would have preferred a more historically accurate Odyssey, because there were like the design and a lot of the things were so modern that they just look like, you know, it's just, I don't know. It brought me out of the moment. That being said, that may not be everybody's interpretation of it.
Right.
It's just because like I love the Odyssey, I know about it. It's like it was so influential to me in high school, and I read it so many times. So there's probably people who, if you're just vaguely familiar with the Odyssey, you may go and enjoy this.
Was it entertaining?
Oh yeah, I did not waste my money getting that ticket.
Okay.
It was worth watching because it was a well-made movie. It was fascinating. But I think I still prefer Oh Brother Where Art Thou's version of the Odyssey at the end of the day.
Well, and so to that point, I mean, I guess, and I haven't seen it yet, so my thought is, if you're going to go that direction and do something different, you know, why not go the Romeo and Juliet side of things, or the Oh Brother Where Art Thou side of things, where, you know, it's just different. Like, it is the same, but it's different, and it's purposefully different.
Yeah.
But my frustration with it is what it seemed like going into this thing. My expectation for it, prior to hearing that what's his face was going to play Achilles.
He didn't.
Oh,
Sinan is who he played.
Okay,
so
I don't
somebody else.
Yeah. So I don't even know how that whole, like, how does that rumor go that far without people knowing?
I don't
know.
What
are we even doing? So, but my point is that at some point along the way, my expectation became that this was going to be the representation of it that we had always been waiting for. Like, we finally have the technology to paint this picture on film and make it as close to, as realistic to. And then you get, you know, Matt Damon and all these other folks involved and stuff like that, and I get it, but that's my concern with it, is that it's not one thing, it's not another, it's kind of somewhere in the middle. And for me, like what you're saying is, I think I'm going to find it hard immersing myself into it.
That's the best way to put that. It's difficult to immerse yourself because visually it reads ancient, but like when they speak, he's like, "Hey, Dad," and you're like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it's a little strange. And also, and I don't mind the multicultural sort of thing as long as we just address it. Do you know what I mean? Just say it. You know what I mean? Just say these warriors are from many different places. That's all you have to say.
Right.
And then you know what? After that, I'm good with anything and everything we're doing. But they didn't do that. But it's just, I don't know. It was like you said. We have the technology to make the fantasy real.
Yeah.
And instead, we sort of got it's a very Hollywood version of it.
My concern is that if we go down this road, right, and we modernize it to the point that, to the extent that it fits, at what point in time is modernizing it going to be meaning that like Odysseus is, the next time they remake it in 20 years, are they going to be like, oh man, that Cyclops is skibbity? Like, like, is that what we're going to run into if we're just using the language that we use and that type of thing? Like, what are we going to really be running into eventually?
I would say go watch it if you really like the Odyssey, but I don't think you're necessarily missing out on anything if you're not into historical fantasy.
We got a huge box office opening. Do you think that will stay up there and it'll continue to rock and roll, or do you think that once the word gets out there, because part of me is concerned about the way that Rotten Tomatoes operates. And I don't know about you, but I can't trust that website. I think that it's bought and paid for, so to speak.
Well, people misunderstand about how it actually aggregates a score sometimes. People think that when they see a 96 on Rotten Tomatoes, they think that means it's a 9 out of 10. What it means is that 96% of the Rotten Tomatoes critics said to go watch this movie, right?
Okay.
But like you said, it's heavily influenced by people saying, hey, would you Like, they invite these people out to the movie, wine and dine them, and say, hey, come review our movie. You see what I'm saying? Where it's like, there's no written contract, but it's like, we understand what we're doing here kind of thing. So people, you're right to be suspicious of it. The audience score is a little emotional. Like, so I don't really pay much attention to Rotten Tomatoes, to be honest with you.
I prefer the audience score over the other one.
It just depends for me with the movie. But I would just say, I bought the popcorn bucket.
Yeah?
I spent $70.
It's a horse, right?
It is. I'm not joking. I thought about bringing it, but it was so big that it wouldn't have fit on the table. It's like 3 feet tall, and I was carrying that thing around, and boy, I felt like a doofus walking around that movie theater with that thing, because they don't fill it with popcorn.
Yeah, no,
they just give you a bucket of popcorn on the side.
Right.
So you just carry it. And so I look like a little kid who got his toy, and walked around. But you know what?
This, folks, is why I make fun of him all the time.
I gotta say, hey, shout out to the production crew, everybody behind the scenes, and it was directed well.
Yeah.
Like, it was constructed well, directed well. It was just tonally sort of a mind bender.
Yeah.
And I'm not like disappointed, but I'm not super enthused either.
Right.
I wasn't blown away.
I get it. Yeah.
But it was beautiful. If you appreciate that kind of stuff, go watch it.
Okay. So I also would like to bring this up now. I don't know if anybody has anybody here locally has seen I would say it would be hard to avoid it. Has everybody seen and heard about Jimothy?
Yes.
So I thought this thing was fake when I saw it. So if you haven't heard or seen of the legend of Jimothy, there is a raccoon that is taking the internet by storm. He's become like the internet mascot right now. He has a severe spinal deformity. He looks like a kid drew him.
Yeah.
This is an animal. Go, if you haven't seen him, Google Jimothy, which is exactly why I love him. And I don't know how this thing is still alive. It's running around with a half a spine, basically. And I think that, to me, what it represents, Chewy, is it's kind of, I get it, the whole resilience thing, and we're going to find a way, people are going to find a way, but I can't look at that raccoon and not think of you. You are my Jimothy.
I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but I'll take it.
No, you're like the Southern Middle Tennessee version of Jimothy.
Sure.
It's just resilient and just keeps coming back. But the number, I need that thing on a shirt.
Yeah. Mom's been posting pictures of it, and I've been a big fan.
It is all of our spirit animal right now. I think that if you live in the United States of America, you really relate to Jimothy, and just doesn't matter what the world has thrown at you. You're just going out there, making your way, just figuring it out.
He looked like he ran into a wall.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. He looks like if you took a raccoon and he ran 45 miles an hour as fast as he could and totally splatted himself into a wall. That is exactly what he looks like.
Do you remember here's a good description of it, okay? In Looney Tunes, when they would take the frying pan and squish one of the characters,
yeah,
and they would come out kind of like an accordion?
Yeah.
Jimothy is if they didn't unfold.
Yeah. He's just kind of like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's so funny looking and weird looking. So what is crazy about it too is his body is so short, but the rest of him, like his face, his arms are what gets me. His arms are the length of raccoon arms, like real raccoon arms. He is a real raccoon, but not also. He's definitely, when they uploaded him into the simulation, somebody was having fun. So he kind of like, I don't even know how he runs. I don't even know how to describe how he runs. He like trots on these arms. I can't with this thing. The videos of him running, I can't make it through a video of him and not
I could crack
laugh.
up. Yeah. Just watching him skedaddle is literally magical.
It's how have we gotten to this point? And this is the first time we're seeing a Jimothy running around. Holy smokes. Anyway, All right, so when we come back on the other side, we will continue the starting lineup. There's something else that I wanted to get into real quick before we head out to trivia coming up at 7:40 over there with Scotty over at Drafts and Watercrafts. Something else going on near to us that we've got to talk about, and I do want to touch on a few things this morning. It is a Mayhem Monday, so we're going to kind of jump around this morning. But we appreciate you getting involved in the show. Head on over to the FMO Facebook feed. Jump into the chat there. With Chewy, I am Joe Abraham. This is the starting lineup on ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
Suppressors from all major brands. That's right. Yankee Hill, they've got it. Dead Air, they've got it. And if they don't have it, they can get it. You want a specific model or style? The team at Backstage Pawn is here to help. Stop by today, check out their selection, and they handle the rest. The newest suppressor selection at Backstage Pawn, just off South College Street in Winchester.
Franklin County sports fans, Johnny Hand here. I'm honored to MC Dinner with Philip Fulmer on Sunday, July 26th at 5 p.m. in the Franklin County High School Gymnasium. Hear stories from the former Franklin County Rebel, University of Tennessee head coach, and leader of the Volunteers' 1998 National Championship team. Reservations are filling up fast, and tickets are pre-sale only. Tickets are $50, or you can reserve a table for 8 for $350. Get yours from Russell Barnett Chevrolet, Doug Garrett, ESPN Radio Winchester, or any FCHS quarterback club member.
It's time for a local news break from the 931 Go News Center.
A reminder for Franklin County families as online school registration continues. Franklin County High School will have registration kiosks available in the Counseling Center on July 21st, 23rd, 28th, and 30th from 8 a.m. until 11 a.m., and again from noon until 3 p.m. The kiosks are available to assist both new and returning students with the online registration process. Families can also use registration kiosks at the Franklin County Board of Education every Wednesday throughout the month of July from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. School officials encourage parents to complete registration before classes begin on August 7th. In statewide news, the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation continues making progress on one of Tennessee's future state parks. Teams from the Bureau of Conservation's Planning, Natural Areas, and State Parks recently met in Ray and Hamilton counties to evaluate the site and begin planning for future visitors. Officials reviewed safety and emergency response needs, discussed ways to protect the area's natural and cultural resources, explored opportunities for educational programs, and identified possible locations for future facilities. The department says the collaborative effort will help preserve the property while creating meaningful outdoor recreation opportunities for generations to come. Tennessee also recently welcomed its newest addition to the state park system. Fort Southwest Point State Historic Park has officially become Tennessee's 66th state park. Located along Watts Bar Lake, the historic site features a reconstructed frontier fort, museum exhibits highlighting early Tennessee history, fishing access, and a paved shoreline walking trail. State officials say the new park offers visitors another opportunity to experience Tennessee's rich history while enjoying the outdoors. For details on these stories and more, visit 931go.com. Stay informed and stay connected to your community with ESPN Radio Winchester.
This is Daryl from Columbus, previously from the Paul Feinbaum Show. I like your show. I've been watching you for years. I like you, but I don't like you. I don't know you like Tennessee or Alabama. I don't know which one you like, but I know you don't like the Auburn Tigers, man.
Willie, thank you. I'm a little bit confused by liking me and not liking me, but you laid out your case very well.
The Paul Feinbaum Show, weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and on the SEC Network.
Joe had to mix up some more pre-workout, but he's ready to go another round. Back to the starting lineup. This is ESPN Radio Winchester.
Back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester. Joe Abraham and Chewy. Joined in studio now by Plank. Head on over to the FMO Facebook feed. Plank, how are you today? Tremendous. All right, so if you have not gotten your tickets yet for the Fulmer dinner coming up this Sunday, you're going to want to do that. There's not very many available, like, remaining to this thing. So you're going to want to do that. And we actually have physical tickets now here at the studio for you to purchase. I've sold a ton of them already. The tables, there's only a few tables left. Tables are $350. A table gets you 8 seats. Invite all your friends. If you don't have enough friends, Plank says he wants to go. You could even take Chewy, maybe. He might go. You might be able to convince him to go. I'll let you bid on taking Chewy.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder who would win that.
I think that they would still want you to pay your own way.
Oh,
like,
never mind.
I'll take Chewy, but he's got to pay, instead of paying $50. I don't think it would get to where you'd be in the positive.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
you know,
I'd still take a net loss on.
Yeah,
that one.
you'd still have to pay like $20. Anyway, speaking of football, this story before we get to trivia, story absolutely makes me laugh. Coffee County over the weekend has begun rolling out this kind of campaign through their social media. They've got graphics that are like, burn the ships, and they've got burning pirate ships. They've got skulls and crossbones and swords, and something look like straight out of the Pirates of the Caribbean, right? Which, honestly, it's cool, right? Makes sense. They're the Raiders, Red Raiders, ships, fire. All of that, to me, makes sense. Except for the fact that Tullahoma is upset because Tullahoma has been using the exact same slogan and catchphrasing and all that type of stuff. Literally, the burn the ships thing. They've been using that for the past, 2 or 3 years, 2 years at least. So they're over here like, yeah, Coffee County's stealing our identity. Now, both schools in the same county cannot stand each other. Right? We all know about their rivalry. But let's review this for just a second. Coffee County is the Red Raiders. For them, pirates and ships and fire and burn a ship, all that type of stuff makes sense to me. Tullahoma is the Wildcats. They're cats who don't even like water. At what point in time did Tullahoma say, you know what? We want to take on this pirate mentality. So Tullahoma can get mad at Coffee County for, quote-unquote, taking their identity or taking their slogan or whatever, which, by the way, not the first one to come up with that. But what's funny to me is that, in all reality, I feel like Tullahoma took it from Coffee County first. Do something with cats. Cat scratch fever. Do something. I don't know. But now it's hilarious to me because both sides are trying to look cool. They got the black uniforms. They got the black helmets, the logos, the skulls, the smoke, and I'm here for it. Okay? I love black. It's my favorite color. Or favorite absence of color. I don't know. But they want to look cool so bad. They got the angry graphics. They want to look like they're starring in an action movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just so that they can go 500. Both teams. Meanwhile, Franklin County, we're lifting weights, installing new offense,
doing media days,
watching film, trying to figure out how to block somebody. Putting in work, stuff that actually wins football games. Now, don't misunderstand me because I am all for branding. I am all for marketing, and I've talked about how we need to do a better job as Franklin County in doing that. But it doesn't necessarily win games. We've talked about that as well. Branding matters, but branding is not culture. Culture is different. Identity matters. We need to work on our identity as Franklin County High School. I have talked about that. I think that we can do a better job creating excitement, creating hype. And I like cool uniforms. I like great graphics. I work in that world. I live in that world. And I'm one of the biggest believers that, the presentation matters. But you know what really matters? Playing football. playing the game. There are teams with great uniforms that go 3-7. And there are teams with very simple uniforms that win state championships. But nobody really remembers who had the coolest slogan. People remember who wins. Nick Saban didn't build Alabama into a winner because they had cool graphics. He built Alabama because they practiced harder than everybody else. So, I hope that the Coffee County campaign, I hope they find what they're looking for there. I'm enjoying it watching from the outside in. I think competition makes everybody better, and those two programs already hate each other, but don't get caught believing that branding replaces culture. Branding tells people who you are. Culture proves it. Culture proves it. That's the difference. All right. Speaking of culture, they've built quite one over there at Drafts and Watercrafts. So let's turn around. I don't think that Plank is going to help us too much in the trivia this morning. But let's
not unless they do like 90s cartoons.
Yeah. Let's go on out to our boy Scotty at Drafts, see what he's up to this morning.
By the way, Brett Crabtree jumped in. He says, hello from Wyoming again. We are headed back to the FC in the morning.
He lives.
Drafts and Watercrafts.
Good morning, Scotty. How are you today?
Good morning. How are y'all?
I am tremendous. Chewy's Chewy. He's pretty much the same as he always is. Okay, over there catching strays all morning. So how was your weekend over there at Drafts and Watercrafts?
Oh, we had a tremendous weekend. So, the weather, they were calling for rain, but the weather was working good with us. So we had a great weekend. So, and got another great weekend coming up. So, got all types of entertainment and stuff like that. We have stuff going on 7 days a week, everything. Tonight's trivia night. It starts at 6:30. Absolutely free. If you'd like to call in ahead and give us your team and how many you have on it, we'll have you set up. We'd like to have that in by 2 o'clock today. And then we have Singo Wednesday night starting at 6:30. Thursday night is week 10 of the Lake Idol.
Yeah.
So, it's moving along. Sign up start at 6. Idol starts at 7. We've got a band Friday night called the In-Laws. They'll be there from 7 to 10:30. We got Sticky Kim Saturday night from 7 to 10:30. And then we have live music Sunday with Jacob Johnson from 12 to 3. So we've got something going on the whole weekend, the whole week full of entertainment. We're open 7 days a week at Drafts and Watercrafts. So you have to come check us out.
So, Scotty, as far as the groups go that come in to play trivia, is there like a sweet spot as far as the number is concerned? Do you see like teams with 1 million people on their team do really well, or do they struggle because there's too many opinions? Do you see the teams with 1 or 2 people struggle, or smaller groups struggle because they don't have enough insight? Is there like a sweet spot? Like you got to have 4 or 5 people? Like what is that? What is that sweet spot that you see?
You don't ever know. You see some of these teams that have 18 and 20 people.
Wow.
And it seems like sometimes they struggle a little more because you got so many people that will think they have the right answer.
Right.
But then you have to choose who you feel like has the right answer. And then sometimes your team may be too small that you don't have enough knowledge. So I feel like a medium-sized team is a good team, like 5 to 6 people. And a long time ago at the Oasis, there used to be these group of teachers that come and they all taught different subjects, like history and geography. And those teams, to me, that team was one of the better teams because they had knowledge in almost every category. One of them was really good in sports. And so it's kind of just do a mixed match of people on your team.
Yeah, you gotta invite the gym teacher just in case there's some athletic questions that are asked as well.
We do always do some sports questions. We really mix it up good. We do a little bit of everything.
Well, you do mix it up good. I know that because it seems like every week here on the show it's something completely different. But all that being said, so folks have plenty of things to do out there this week at Drafts and Watercrafts. If they wanted to participate today in the trivia and they got the answer right, what will they win?
We're going to do today a grilled chicken salad.
Ooh.
And they're got all types of stuff. I've got grilled chicken, got cucumbers, tomatoes, croutons, bacon bits, cheese. It's just loaded up with mixed greens, croutons. So you can win that salad. You can redeem it either today at lunch, or you can redeem it anytime today, even in the evening tonight. So.
Tremendous stuff. The number for you to load into your phone is 931-967-3500. That's 931-967-3500. And again, trivia tonight over there at Drafts and Watercrafts. This answer to this question is going to be one of the questions here tonight at trivia. So you're going to want to remember this answer. Don't message me later asking for it, because I'm going to just tell you to go back and listen to the show. All right, brother.
That's right.
What?
So if you haven't
go
won the
ahead.
past 30 days, you can call in and win today. You ready?
I am ready.
We're going to do a classic rock question this morning.
Ooh.
You know, there's not a definite poll that says that there's the best, but in most polls, what is considered the best classic rock song?
Wow.
And this is tops in most of the polls, but there's not, like I said, there's not a definite best rock song, but what does a lot of the polls consider the best rock song? Classic rock song.
So this might be a little bit subjective, so don't get mad at me or Scotty for this, but it is a consistent theme. He is saying across many polls that this is the best classic rock song out there. Again, the number is 931-967-3500. That's 931-967-3500. And I'd love to hear your guess. I've got a guess. We'll see what our first caller's guess is.
Hello?
Go ahead, caller.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
No, that's not it. That is on some of the polls, but on most of the polls, it's not.
Okay, thank you.
Tremendous guess. Yeah, that was going to be one of the ones that I had up there. I am very interested in this. So we've already determined not Bohemian Rhapsody. Again, the number is 931-967-3500.
Now the ones that they consider the best, I like it, but I don't consider it the best classic rock song. But like you said, everybody has their own opinions.
Go ahead, caller.
Stairway to Heaven.
That's correct.
Hey, good guess. All right, caller, what's your name?
Harlan Reese, but I already won.
Oh, when was the last time you won?
The 28th, I believe.
What is today? The 20th?
The 20th.
Oh, man, you're killing me, Smalls.
It's fine.
All right,
I guess we'll go ahead and let him have it. He just can't win for 2 months.
Harlan, you can win this time around, but you got to give us a couple month break. You do too good at the trivia.
I'm sorry.
You're good. All right.
He's too smart.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is the phone was beeping. We had people calling in. Congratulations, Harlan.
Thank you.
All right, so Harlan wins, even though he broke the rules. Listen,
I'm glad he kept up with the date, though. You know.
Yeah, good job by him. Next time, though, if Harlan does it again, he's going to get introduced to the wax stick, which Chewy knows well about the wax stick. That's what I used to punish people around here at the office. Don't tell my HR director. Scotty, good job by you. Again, Stairway to Heaven is the answer, and people need to remember that tonight because that is a very subjective not completely subjective. He was able to figure it out, but that's a pretty subjective question. So if you're sitting in a circle with 27 people in your group tonight and everybody's shouting out answers, that is the answer to this question.
What did you think it was?
I was gonna say Freebird, but I wasn't sure if Freebird counted as rock or Southern rock or if it would even be on the list and applicable. But just because
one of them on the list is Hotel California.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
And then I'm trying to think what the others. Another couple. Bohemian Rhapsody was one.
Yeah.
But,
I figured it.
so-
I figured it wouldn't be on the list. I figured it would have been one of those other ones. A Queen song. You know that. It makes sense though. Stairway to Heaven's. Yeah, that makes sense. But all right, brother. Well, good job by you. That was a
All
fun
right,
one.
y'all have a good day, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, we'll do it.
All right, see you. Bye.
Again, trivia coming up tonight over at Drafts and Watercrafts. Stairway to Heaven.
Kevin Simmons got it in the chat, and Alice said that she also knew.
Yeah. Is that the best classic rock song, though?
I don't know. It's very good, but I don't know. What do you have? Like, this is such a hard question.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it wouldn't even be on the list of mine. But again, most of my stuff, I would lean towards like Southern rock.
Sure.
You know, but I'm not most people. I think in this area, we might have a little bit more of that than in some of the metro areas across the country. Like people out in California would probably all say Hotel California. I don't know. But per his question, I do see Stairway to Heaven on a lot of the lists.
Yeah.
So I get that. All right. Well, we'll be back on the other side to wrap up hour number 1. It is the starting lineup. If you think that you have a better option as the best all-time classic rock song, drop it in the FMO Facebook feed. This is ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
Why choose More Courtney Funeral Home? Well, they're a fifth-generation funeral home taking care of the people of Franklin County since 1905. They're committed to serving you, dedicated to providing personalized, professional, compassionate service to help lighten your burden and help you out during these difficult times. More Courtney Funeral Home, 300 First Avenue Northwest in Winchester, 967-2222. More Courtney Funeral Home.
Got a project to tackle or a party to plan? Skip the stress and rent it instead at Reliable Rental in Winchester. From tools and heavy-duty machines to chairs, tables, and event essentials, they've got what you need to get the job done right. Whether it's work or a weekend celebration, Reliable Rental makes it easy. Stop by 2433 Deckard Boulevard in Winchester or check out everything they offer online at reliablerentalfc.com. Reliable Rental. When you need it, they've got it.
If your life depended on the mission succeeding, what would you care about? Would you care about the demographics of the crew? The moon does not care about your politics, doesn't care about your hashtags. It does not care about where you lie on social media arguments. It doesn't care whether you're male or female or black or white or rich or poor or conservative or liberal or religious or atheist or anything else, because reality does not negotiate. It just is. You can disagree with the facts, but they don't care about your feelings. It is a starting lineup. Thank you for tuning in. This is ESPN Radio Winchester.
The future of healthcare starts here. The Southern Tennessee Regional Health System, Winchester and Suwannee, are joining the High Point Health System with Ascension St. Thomas, a health network serving communities across the state. We're working together to expand access, improve clinical quality, and keep you close to home throughout your care journey. Your favorite providers aren't going anywhere. It's the same care you know and trust, now with a new name. High Point Health with Ascension St. Thomas. Learn more at highpointhealthsystem.com.
Fueled by Loco Coffee on ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
Back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester. Joe Abraham and Chewy. Wrapping up the first hour. Also joined in studio by Plank. You guys better be careful. Better watch out. I might let Plank host this segment here.
That would actually be really funny for us to have a day off.
Plank sitting in for hour number 2. Chewy and I are we're gonna hit the road and let him cover hour number 2.
That's actually really funny. I like that.
All right, coming up in the top of the hour, we will go out to Heath Automotive. We will also go out to Poultry Electric and Pro Hardware. I don't have time for that here as we wrap up hour number 1. I'm also going to give a little personal reaction to the reaction from Friday's show. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I'm not going to get into the weeds on it. I am going to just, I think it would be a dereliction of duties if I didn't talk about what I've seen from last Friday's show. But we have a ton of stuff to get into today on the show. A ton of funny things, just like little. I mentioned Jimothy, who is all of our spirit animals at this point in time. You know, one of the other things that I saw over the weekend, the ticket price. Rosie, what are you doing? Rosie just came in here. She's jealous that Plank gets to co-host a show with me instead of her. Chewy, the average World Cup final ticket, $11,000.
Wow.
$11,000. Go to bed. Go to bed. What are you doing in here? We're doing a radio show. It's not time for you. No, I don't know. I left the door open. You got to go back and go lay down. I could buy a whole car for $11,000. I could take my family on all the vacations for $11,000. I could actually pay my taxes with $11,000. But $11,000 to watch 90 minutes of soccer.
I struggle to find anything that'd be worth $11,000.
Yeah. I wouldn't pay $11,000 for you.
I wouldn't either. I think that's a gross misallocation of resources.
Take me like a whole year to get to that amount from paying you. I mean, it's not even like it's the NFL, right? This isn't the Super Bowl. It's not the NBA. This isn't like a premier. This is soccer. Come on now. We pay $11,000 to watch a soccer game.
Anyway,
I could send my kids out in the backyard, and it would be more entertaining to watch what happens, because ultimately somebody's getting punched in the face. They're going to the ground. Well, they were playing soccer out in the backyard because they've gotten into it, right? It's on the TV. They're now all like into soccer. They're going out in the backyard, kicking the ball around and stuff like that. Next thing you know, I'm handing out red cards. Juliana's tackling Jack to the ground. They're going at it. That's more entertaining to me than watching Spain beat Argentina 1-0 or 1-0, as they like to say. Now, that all being said, you know who I do like watching and who is really entertaining when it comes to soccer is Franklin County's got some really good stuff. If you have not gotten a chance to see the Franklin County girls soccer team, ladies soccer team play, fall right around the corner, and they are always so good. I'm excited for their season to get started. All right, we'll be back in hour number 2, where you don't have to pay $18 for a bucket of chicken tenders. And you've got, like, this is halftime of the show. You've got time to go pee, grab a drink, and come back. Unlike if you went to the World Cup, even though they had a 30-minute halftime, you're still going to miss half of the second half standing in line. And you can sit and watch it in your air-conditioned wherever you are, office, home. Some people even watch in their car. I don't recommend watching in your car. That's what the radio signal is for. Just listen. All right. Back on the other side, it is the starting lineup. This is ESPN Radio 1340, 1069 WCDT Winchester.
The starting lineup with Joe and Chewy is presented by Loco in Winchester. Right here in Winchester, Loco is doing things their own way. From locally roasted Loco coffee to a one-of-a-kind shop experience. It's a place that's built for the Franklin County community. So if you haven't stopped by yet, now's the time. Support local. Drink Loco coffee, fueling Franklin County mornings. Roasted right here in Franklin County. And don't forget to tune into the starting lineup, weekdays from 7 to 9.
When we hear drug-endangered children, we may picture extreme situations, but substance misuse can affect any child through unsafe environments, unsecured medications, or even impaired driving. Protecting children is everyone's responsibility. The Franklin County Prevention Coalition partners with schools and law enforcement to raise awareness and provide tools that keep kids safe. Because when we work together to protect our children, we are stronger together. Learn more at fcpctn.org/DEC. This project is funded under a grant contract with the State of Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
No two patients are alike. High Point Health with Ascension St. Thomas delivers care centered around your health, your goals, your story. your recovery. From routine checkups to critical procedures, we use today's medical technology and advanced clinical practices to help you feel better, recover faster, and return home to the community you love. We don't just specialize in care, we specialize in you. Learn more at highpointhealthsystem.com.
Kids, pets, muddy shoes. Life happens. That's why more homeowners are choosing beautiful, durable flooring from Discount Floors and More. From waterproof luxury vinyl plank to hardwood, tile, and carpet, their team will help you find the right floor for your home and your budget. With over 30 years of experience and professional installation.
You're tuned in to ESPN Radio Winchester, WCDT 1340 AM, W295 AV, 1069 FM. Broadcasting live from the ESPN Radio Winchester studio, it's the starting lineup. Now, here are your hosts, Joe Abraham and Chewy.
Back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340, 1069 WCDT Winchester. Joe Abraham and Chewy. Along with Plank in studio. Doug Garrett kind of threw down the gauntlet. Alice Davis said that she thought that the best song would have been Freebird. Nikki Martin said Your Love. Doug said Zeppelin is the best rock band of all time.
Wow. Okay.
Doug, I love Doug. And I know that Doug is a huge Zeppelin fan. There's no way. In my opinion,
All right.
no. But that's my opinion. And my favorite rock, like classic rock, which now it's considered classic rock, but back in the day, it would have been too hard to consider classic rock or rock. It would have been hard rock. AC/DC is my favorite.
Ooh, yeah. Good one.
I love AC/DC. Now, obviously, everybody's going to have their own opinion, and this might set us off. You got people that are going to say Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Queen. I mean, the list will go on and on.
Scorpion?
No, Chewy.
Chuck Berry might be my favorite rock star.
But I will say I'm gonna call out Doug because he jumped in the chat. He started it. It wasn't me, it was him. If you disagree with Doug, head on over to the FMO Facebook feed and let us know who you think the best classic rock band of all time is.
So you're saying AC/DC.
Yeah.
Doug's saying Zeppelin.
My favorite is AC/DC. Now, again, that's saying, like, Leonard Skinner to me. But here's my problem with Leonard Skinner is that they've had so much, like, they're not really even Leonard Skinner to me anymore. They're it's just like a Leonard Skinner cover band at this point. Which I get it. A lot of them are.
Ooh, Alice Davis said Motley Crue.
Motley Crue. And what's funny is a lot of the ones that would have been considered hard rock back in the day are now just classic rock to us.
It's like family rock stations.
Yeah. Like I turned out, it's not even dad rock. It's like, it's. I guess it would be dad rock. It's not divorced dad rock.
Yeah, it's pop rock.
Yeah.
Lawrence Orr says Scorpions. See, I told you, Scorpions. See?
No.
Yeah, dude.
Scorpions.
Scorpions were awesome.
Come on now.
Rock You Like a Hurricane is one of my favorite songs.
Again, so this is my thought on it. It's kind of like Zeppelin. Zeppelin's got a couple of good songs, But for me, the list isn't that long.
Joey Ram the hater this morning, waking up with the haterade.
I know. The Rolling Stones. I mean, they got like.
I think I like Black Sabbath more than I like AC/DC though.
For me, I just like AC/DC. Like, it resonates with me. Their sound, their word, the lyrics.
Yeah.
Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
The Who.
Alan Parsons Band.
I mean, we could spend the whole rest of the show on this. We're not going to, because this segment we're going to go call out to Poultry Electric and Pro Hardware.
All right.
We can ask, though. We'll ask Jeff, in his opinion, who the best classic rock band is. We can do that. We can start getting people's opinions. I do encourage you to jump into the FMO feed, Facebook feed, and let us know. Let us know. Who is your favorite classic rock band? Scorpion. Come on now. Plank, what do you think? Plank agrees with me, AC/DC. I hope everybody had a really good weekend. I don't know. I feel, I don't want to say I feel like I got hit by a truck. I just feel off this morning. Does anybody else? I don't think it's a case of the Mondays. We got him? I just feel off.
We got Miss Christie on the line.
Oh, Miss Christie's on the line. Good morning, Miss Christie. How are you today?
Well, I am great. How are you?
I am doing tremendous. I was just telling people I felt off, but now that I'm talking to you, I feel tremendous. Quick question for you. As far as classic rock is concerned, is there a band that comes to mind as your favorite all-time classic rock band? And I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh, my goodness. The only thing that popped in my head was Rod Stewart, because that's what we listened to when we were dating. I have no idea.
All right. Well, if you get a chance, and you see Jeff rolling around there at some point this morning, ask him. I'd love to know his opinion on it, too. How are things over there, Poultry Electric and Pro Hardware?
Well, we're just easing into our Monday morning, just getting ready for another hot day and waiting for we've already had a big plumbing order go out this morning, so we're waiting for everyone else to show up, usually about 8:30. All of a sudden, the doors just start booming open, and then there's just tons of contractors in here. So
yeah,
we're waiting on that big rush, so we're getting all of ourselves together for that.
Would you say that as far as the balance between contractors and just individuals, how would you say that split is kind of divided? Do you guys deal with just a ton of contractors, and then there's only a small group of folks from around town that know about you, or is it the other way? How does that split look for you guys as far as people that walk through the door?
It depends on the day, because sometimes we have a lot of homeowners in here, and some days we have a lot of contractors in here.
Yeah. From my perspective,
on Mondays we have a lot of contractors because they're getting ready for their week. They get all their stuff gathered up and they're ready to go. If it's raining outside, contractors getting all their stuff ready that they got to have when it dries up.
From my perspective, I was one of those people who did not know, right? And so I would always go to the big box store and search around and spend all this time in the aisles looking for what I was searching for what I was looking for and not able to find it and things like that. Until I realized that Poultry Electric and Pro Hardware was for more than just the hardware professionals. You guys do have a little bit of something for everybody, whether it be that, there are people who own houses and manage rental properties and things like that, and you have certain things available for them, even from an appliance standpoint. But you also have things for folks who are just homeowners, and maybe they're redoing their kitchen, and they've got this whole project lined out ahead of them. They're going to need paint. They're going to need hardware. They're going to need tools and things like that, and they want to be a do-it-yourselfer. And then ultimately, at the end of it all, they're going to want a whole new set of appliances. You guys can help them through an entire journey like that.
We can, and we just had this discussion this morning, actually here, some of our employees here, that people sometimes overlook the independent hardware stores, thinking they get a better price at the big box stores. Not so. and we wish that they would come in here and at least give us a chance to bid their job.
Yeah.
Because 90% of the time we're cheaper.
Yeah.
With good products. It's not that we buy cheaper products. We do so well to match or be less than the big box stores, even if we make less money, just so that people have somewhere else to go besides the big box people, where you don't always get the help you need when you walk in the door. Here, most of the time someone's meeting you at the door or at the counter, and they take you where you need to go, show you how it works, puts it together for you so you can see how to put it together when you get home, or takes pictures of what you got and finds out what you need to fix that part. I've seen my guys do just remarkable things. Like if they cannot find this unicorn part they're looking for, our guys will be like, well, if we take this and put it together, here's your part for you. And they're like, I can't believe you figured that out.
Yeah.
So my guys are very, very knowledgeable.
I think that it's interesting you talk about the concept of being more affordable than the big box stores, because a lot of times that's what we think about. Wow, I don't want to go to the big box store, but they're going to save me money. And too, what you got to consider with that is all of they kind of set the industry standard pricing on some things. So really, because they're so prevalent, they can kind of price it where they want it. And on top of that, they're also paying for all of this overhead, these advertising and all this other stuff that goes into it. And so they don't have the ability from a corporate standpoint to kind of wiggle on those prices. They're set and they just are what they are. You guys have the ability where you can still get them from the manufacturer for the same rate, so to speak, but then you have more flexibility to set your pricing. And you mentioned it too there at the end. What you guys are able to do from a staffing standpoint and the experts that you have in the building to help people through a job is unmatched, in my opinion. You guys just do a tremendous job with that aspect of it as well.
Well, thank you very much. And we still stick with that motto, make your last choice your first choice, or however we said that before.
Yeah.
Check poultry first.
Yeah.
And then check everywhere else. I mean, we do not care if you come in here and get price checks and go somewhere else and compare us. We're good with that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
check with us. Leave us in that loop.
Yeah.
And don't just ignore us, because we promise you good service and do the best we can for you.
Yeah, a great reflection of that is your rapidly growing appliance sales side of things. But yeah, we've talked about that. Making poultry your first stop, and it will be your last stop. I have spent so many hours at a big box store looking and searching. And then if I had just gone to poultry first, I would have saved all that time, and you can't get that back. Once it's gone, it's gone. Where can people find you over there at Poultry Electric and Pro Hardware?
Come and check us out at 1991 Sharp Springs Road right here in Winchester, across from Crystal, or you can give us a call at 967-7351. We'll be happy to help you any way we can.
And if you find them on the web as well, poultryelectric.com, you'll know that you're the right place, because it'll pop up with a picture of Jeff's pretty face.
Oh, yeah. They'll know they're in the right place.
All right, Miss Christie.
That'll work.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Check them out at Poultry Electric and Pro Hardware. And if you've never been in there, if you don't understand, as soon as you walk through the door, you'll know what you're missing. I love it because it reminds me of the hardware stores that I grew up going to with my father, pre-Home Depot, pre-Lowe's, pre-all those big box stores. Man, Poultry Electric, they do it right still. It's hard to go any other way than that. We'll be back on the other side. We'll go out to Heath Automotive, see what they're up to out there. It is the starting lineup. This is ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
Here, and it's the perfect time to refresh your home with hot deals from Furniture Merchandise Outlet in Tullahoma. Whether you're upgrading your living room, bedroom, dining room, or finding the perfect mattress, FMO has stylish furniture at prices your wallet will love. Visit Furniture Merchandise Outlet today at 105 North Jackson Street in Tullahoma, or shop anytime at FMOTN.com.
Make your house feel like summer all year long with FMO.
Looking for a reliable car at an affordable price? Stop by Money Down Motors here in Deckard. We specialize in quality pre-owned vehicles with low down payments and flexible financing options. No matter your credit history, drive away today with a car you'll love and a payment plan that works for you. Visit us at 1945 Deckard Boulevard or call 931-962-3404 for more info. At Money Down Motors LLC, your ride is waiting.
From the 931 Go Weather Center, it's time for an ESPN Radio Winchester weather update, presented by Bennett's Pharmacy.
Warm and rainy weather headed your way today with a mostly sunny day, high of 90 degrees and a heat index value at 102 and a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms mainly after 1 p.m. Stay indoors, stay dry, and stay cool while you stay tuned to ESPN Radio Winchester 1340 1069.
At Bennett's Pharmacy in Winchester, we're more than a pharmacy. We're your partner in health. Conveniently located at 1201 Dinah Shore Boulevard, we're here to serve you with fast, friendly, and personalized service. Need prescriptions filled? Looking for over-the-counter products? We've got you covered. Plus, enjoy local delivery and expert advice from our caring team. Call us today at 931-967-2777 or stop by Bennett's Pharmacy at 1201 Dinah Shore Boulevard today.
Tune into the starting lineup on the FMO Facebook feed. Just go to Facebook.com/ESPN Winchester. Now, back to Joe and Chewy.
Back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester, Joe Abraham and Chewy. And this is the week before we go out to Heath Automotive, which Chewy will effort here. This is the week of SEC Media Days. They call it talking season because they're not actually accomplishing anything. They're not playing any games. They're just talking about it. But down in Florida is where SEC Media Days is this year. We will have coverage here on the station all week long. The Tom Abraham Show is heavily involved, and we will get into some of what they're talking about this week on the show. But I did want to just throw this out there. Commissioner Sankey just announced that Nashville is going to be the host of next year's SEC Media Days, which will be on July 12th through the 15th. So that's kind of cool. SEC Media Days coming to Nashville next year. All right. Chewy's like, I don't know anything about anything you just said.
I'm all yeah, sure. Media days are fun. I'm looking forward to football season because it'll give you, you seem to be in a better mood. You know what I mean? You don't have to go and look for things to talk about. You're just like, hey, Stephen A. Smith said this. Let me tell you about it. Let me tell you about where Stephen sucks.
Let me tell you why he's wrong. Yeah. All right. Let's head out to Heath Automotive and see what they're up to over there. See what Steve is up to. I may have made the mistake of waiting too long. Sometimes when we push him to the second hour, it creates an issue. And the issue being that they're too busy to answer the phone. Now, I say that. They do their best, but sometimes Monday morning, they get back in there. Man, they're blowing and going. Just depends on what happened over the weekend. All right. We got Steve this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you today?
I am doing great on this Monday morning.
So I made the mistake, and I do this every once in a while, where I take too long to call you, and sometimes it's a crapshoot to know whether or not we're going to be able to get a hold of you because we take a back seat to you guys actually working on people's vehicles and making sure that people's cars get back on the road safely. But that being said, how are things this morning? You come in there, you got keys dropped in the drop box, you got jobs to do. How are things over there at Heath this morning? You guys rocking and rolling?
Pretty much status quo. We've got customers checking in, leaving vehicles, waiting to have stuff checked out. We've got weekend flat repairs, as we always do. We're getting those taken care of, and then we got plenty of room though for other service. Anybody has anything going on with their vehicle, their tires, they've got any questions, we've got plenty of time to take care of it for them.
Let me ask you this, because there was some work done at like our church the past few weeks or so, and so I heard that somebody picked up a screw or a nail in their tire or something along those lines. When people buy tires from you guys, say they get a new set of tires from you, and they pick up an object within the tire, is there like an insurance type of thing or something that helps cover if that happens and the tires are fairly new, or how does that work?
Okay, that's called road hazard.
Okay.
There are a few tires that have brands that have road hazard on new tires, and it's usually the type deal, first 230 seconds of tread, first year of the tread, within that 230 second wear that the manufacturer offers. There's not a lot of that. There is some, but there is a separate coverage that a customer can, when they get their tires, that they can buy to cover that. We call it bad luck insurance. It's road hazard.
There you go. Bad luck.
And because it's bad luck. I mean, I've had customers buy a brand new set of tires and have a flat in less than 24 hours.
Yeah. Jeez.
And sometimes it was repairable and sometimes it wasn't repairable. Now, any tires that we sell, whether they have the road hazard or not, we repair at a discounted amount. They're our customers, our tires, we sold them. That helps some. But the road hazard will fix flats free for the life of the tire. We don't put any, 3-year expiration on it or anything like that. If you have road hazard coverage from us, we fix the flats free for the life of the tire.
Wow.
If it's a non-repairable injury, something that cannot be safely repaired, let's say you've gashed the sidewall, that's nothing that's going to be repaired. That's going to require a new tire. If you have the road hazard the first year, it is a free replacement first 12 months, regardless of miles.
Wow.
You're going to get a new tire. If it's the second year, it's a 50% credit. If it's the third year, it's a 25% credit.
Wow, that's great.
So that is your bad luck insurance right there, and it happens.
Yeah. Oh, it definitely does. And what's funny is it seems to happen like when it rains, it pours. There have been times where I've gone 10 years and not picked up anything in my tire, and then there's times where I've gone 10 days and picked up, two different times picked up something in my tire. So, well, let me ask you this: as far as repairing a tire that maybe you've picked up a nail or a screw or hit some sort of other hazard, what are the standards as far as, like, if it's too close to the sidewall or whatever the case is that you can and cannot fix, can and cannot repair, or at least should and shouldn't try and repair?
Well, basically, your tread area is normally repairable unless it gets too close to the shoulder, too close to the sidewall. Sidewall repairs are normally, punctures are normally not repaired.
Yeah.
We don't plug tires. A plug is to be used as a temporary repair until you can get the tire fixed properly. And the important part of this is that you carry the tire in to a tire shop that knows what they're doing, and they're going to break that tire down off the wheel, and they're going to examine the damage on the inside.
Okay.
And that's why you just don't slap a plug in something, because you could be running, and that stops the air coming out. But you may be running on an unsafe tire, and it depends on how much damage has been done, and you can tell that much better on the inner liner of the tire as to what can and cannot be safely done. Yes, we have patched sidewalls before. It depends on the injury.
Yeah, that's really interesting though, because I have definitely taken my tire to a shop and they'll pull it down off the thing and they'll pull it off the car and they'll try and find where the leak is, and they find it, and then they're spraying it with the water and the soap, and then they find where the hole is, and then you just stick a plug in it and there you go, all fixed up. And you're saying that is not the proper way of doing it.
You just temporarily address the issue because, many times, and now in today's systems, if they're working properly, being used, your TPMS systems, that's your tire monitors, your air pressure monitors. It tells you when you've dropped below a certain amount of air pressure and that you need to check your air pressure. Now, if customers paying attention to that and they've noticed when it happens and how long it's been going on and all, many times you may find a place that'll just slap a plug in that. But if they've been running on that tire underinflated, you may have damaged that tire where it's no longer safe.
Yeah. Wow.
And, sometimes you break them down and take them off the wheel, and the inside of the tire has started basically disintegrating. You can pull handfuls of rubber out of it.
Wow.
A little bit. And you don't see that unless you break that tire down and inspect the injury.
Wow.
So, I've had people for years, and hey, many years ago, we did it. We plugged tires all day long. That was the industry standard. And, 90% of the time, nobody ever had a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And that's quick, that's cheaper, and all. But the problem is what happens when you're going down the road and when somebody says they have a blowout.
Mm-hmm.
Blowouts happen because you've lost air pressure and ridden on the tire. It's built up heat, and you have a catastrophic failure of the tire. They just don't happen unless there's a reason, and it's usually because it's low air pressure.
Wow.
And I always urge customers. I know, quick and easy. Hey, somebody will plug my tire for $10. That's great. But you're going down the road at 70 miles an hour and that tire blows out. That's not great.
Right. I learn something every time I talk to you about this stuff. It's tremendous.
Well, I don't charge any extra for it either, do I?
No. Well, where can folks find you if they have picked something up in their tire and they need you to look at their wheels, or maybe they've got a mechanical issue that they wanted to get you guys to check out? Where can they find you guys over there at Heath Automotive?
Well, we'd love for you to come see us. We're at 501 First Avenue Southwest in Winchester. That's 4 blocks off the square in Winchester, right at the split. You can give us a call, 967-3880. And we do have a website you can visit. That is heathautomotivetire.com.
All right, brother. I really appreciate you. And make sure if you head on over to their Facebook page and or their website, check out. They've always got manufacturer rebates going on as well. So check those out there too. Steve, thank you so much.
Take care, Joe.
You too. That is
Bye-bye.
Steve over at Heath Automotive. All right, when we come back, we got about 30 minutes left in the show. Me, Chewy, and Plank are going to get into some things, hop around a little bit. I mentioned SEC Media Days this week. Just announced that it's going to be in Nashville next year. Before we hit the break, I do want to give you some words of encouragement. If you're running around and you feel like, today is you just got a case of Mondays, you feel off like I do, just remember Jimothy. Just remember Jimothy. Be like Jimothy. Brett is out in wherever he is, Utah, Wyoming, somewhere cool. It's very pretty. And he has been spotty, to say the least, in the chat. So I'm not going to tell you to be like Brett. I'm going to tell you to be resilient like Jimothy. Okay? All right, we'll be back on the other side. It is the starting lineup. This is ESPN Radio Winchester.
The wait is over. You asked, and they answered. Backstage Pawn in Winchester now carries suppressors from all major brands. That's right. Yankee Hill, they've got it. Dead Air, they've got it. And if they don't have it, they can get it. You want a specific model or style? The team at Backstage Pawn is here to help. Stop by today. Check out their selection, and they handle the rest. The newest suppressor selection at Backstage Pawn, just off South College Street in Winchester.
Hey neighbors, Johnny Hand here. Join me every Wednesday night at Jefferson's in Winchester for the Coaches Show here on ESPN Radio Winchester. Each week I'll sit down with coaches from Franklin County High School, Hotland High School, North Middle, South Middle, and Hotland Middle Schools. We'll recap the biggest moments from the previous week, preview the games ahead, and take you inside our local teams. Come enjoy some great food, support our coaches and athletes, and be part of the show every Wednesday night at Jefferson's.
It's time for a local news break from the 931 Go News Center.
A reminder for Franklin County families as online school registration continues. Franklin County High School will have registration kiosks available in the Counseling Center on July 21st, 23rd, 28th, and 30th from 8 a.m. until 11 a.m. and again from noon until 3 p.m. The kiosks are available to assist both new and returning students with the online registration process. Families can also use registration kiosks at the Franklin County Board of Education every Wednesday throughout the month of July from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. School officials encourage parents to complete registration before classes begin on August 7th. In statewide news, the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation continues making progress on one of Tennessee's future state parks. Teams from the Bureau of Conservation's Planning, Natural Areas, and State Parks recently met in Ray and Hamilton counties to evaluate the site and begin planning for future visitors. Officials reviewed safety and emergency response needs, discussed ways to protect the area's natural and cultural resources, explored opportunities for educational programs, and identified possible locations for future facilities. The department says the collaborative effort will help preserve the property while creating meaningful outdoor recreation opportunities for generations to come. Tennessee also recently welcomed its newest addition to the state park system. Fort Southwest Point State Historic Park has officially become Tennessee's 66th state park. Located along Watts Bar Lake, the historic site features a reconstructed frontier fort, museum exhibits highlighting early Tennessee history, fishing access, and a paved shoreline walking trail. State officials say the new park offers visitors another opportunity to experience Tennessee's rich history while enjoying the outdoors. For details on these stories and more, visit 931go.com. Stay informed and stay connected to your community with ESPN Radio Winchester.
When it comes to caring for your loved ones, choose a name you can trust. Inhabit Home Health in Winchester, located at 2068 Cowan Highway. We're here to provide compassionate professional care right in the comfort of your own home. From skilled nursing to therapy services, our team is dedicated to helping you or your loved ones achieve the best quality of life. Call Inhabit Home Health today at 931-967-0633 to learn more about our personalized care plans.
I don't know what to tell you. I know it's not much, but this is the best they've got. You're listening to the starting lineup on ESPN Radio, WCDT Winchester.
Back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340, 1069 WCDT Winchester. Joe Abraham and Chewy, along with Plank. Chewy, you better watch out. Plank, I mean, I don't know about his ability to run the board, but I feel like his co-hosting abilities is as strong as yours.
He's definitely got a strong personality.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He's got a voice for radio.
Yeah, he got a voice for radio. I like that. He's definitely informative.
Shot of Plank sitting in the guest chair. That is my new favorite part of the show.
Oh, dear.
All right. Stephanie Sweeten says, hey, Chewy's out.
Andrew also jumped in this morning.
Good morning to everybody who got involved in the show today. It's, oh, man. You know what I realized about the show today? This is really just kind of interesting from a statistical standpoint. I looked at the last, month of the show, And the ratings on the show for the last month, we can see the visual number of both views and viewers on the show. Now, in a county of 40,000 people-ish, give or take, there's probably about 30,000 adults in this community. And we average somewhere between 1,500 to 2,000 viewers, not views, but viewers on a daily basis. Sometimes it's lower than that, depending on how good Chewy does, how entertaining he is on the show. Sometimes it's lower than that. And but the point is that we hang somewhere around like 3 to 5% of people within Franklin County, and even a higher number if you're considering just adults. 3 to 5% of people within the county watch the show on Facebook on a daily basis. That doesn't even include listening on the smartphone app. That doesn't include listening on the radio. So when we talk about that it's Franklin County's favorite way to get their morning started or favorite morning show, I want to put this in perspective for you. Good Morning America averages less than 1% nationally. And the best TV show, the highest rated sitcoms and weekly shows and things like that average somewhere around like 2%. So I'm not saying that we're awesome. I'm saying people love Chewy. They tune in to watch this guy, and the statistics, the numbers are undeniable. So good job by you, my friend.
I think it's the Franklin County, the people, they show up. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I appreciate that for them. They're cool.
They want to be involved.
Yeah. So shout out to the viewers. Thank you for making it possible.
Good job by you guys. All right, so last week was interesting. I want to kind of go.
Almost killed me.
I know. It almost took Chewy out. He almost quit in the middle of, a couple of times. He just it's too much. But here's the thing. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I do want to talk about this a little bit because I do want to put some things into perspective. For months, we have talked about needing more debates. We've talked about needing more information. We've talked about we need to know, if we're going to step into voters' booth, I need to know more about these people because I'm not seeing anything about who they are, what their platform is. Like, all we see is the signs, and they post some videos on Facebook, but we don't really actually know anything about them. And so we hosted debates. We've had interviews for the candidates. We've, we spent time requesting public records. We spent hours and hours and hours asking questions of both sides, having them answered from both sides. What I find fascinating, though, about this whole process is there are some people who do want more information. They want to be informed. And then there are some people who they didn't want more information. They just want information that confirmed what they believe. Okay? The minute information comes out that challenges somebody's preferred candidate, it's not, let's look at the documents. It's Joe's bias. It's a witch hunt. WCDT's the CNN of Franklin County, which I take offense to. If the president of Franklin County comes up, we're going to carry that speech. It becomes more about me, though, instead of about the information. And that's not what I want. I don't want it to be about me. You can say that I'm biased. You can say whatever you want. But if you take politics completely out of it, I simply want you to imagine that you are the hiring manager for a business, that you're replacing a CEO who's run the company for the last 20 years. You're going to be very critical about who you put in that spot, right? Maybe that CEO has made mistakes. Maybe it is time to consider a change, and that is all fine. But you're not going to just go out and hire somebody who comes along because they say, trust me, I'm different. Or trust me, I'm going to do a better job. No, you're going to examine their resume. For me, I liken it to football because I understand football better than I understand politics and pretty much anything else in this world. Imagine that you've had a head coach in the same position who has had success for the last 20 years, like a Nick Saban type. Maybe not that successful. There's only one of that guy. But he's led the program and had success, built up a culture. Maybe the program's not quite what it was. Maybe retirement's right around the corner. Those are all legitimate conversations. But before you replace him, Wouldn't you expect the next guy to have demonstrated that he can do it? And that is simply my concern. That is simply what I am voicing. And when I look into the resume, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking at. If somebody comes in and says, I've been coaching part-time for the last 30 years, I haven't built a winning program, but trust me, I know exactly how to fix yours. Wouldn't you have questions if that was the direction that Tennessee was going with their next head coaching hire, that they were going to hire some guy from a Division III school that didn't necessarily have a strong resume? Because the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in what we can analyze, whether you like somebody or not. Because I will be honest, as a person talking face-to-face, and I've had many interactions with Charles Keller face-to-face, I really like Charles Keller. A lot of people do. And I'm not being critical of Charles Keller, the person. I'm being critical of the resume. Has he demonstrated? Same thing with Troy Parsons Jr. Troy Parsons Jr. is one of the nicest people I have met. But has he demonstrated a level of success that would justify replacing someone with 20 years of experience? That's a hard question to dismiss. What I'm really, I guess, trying to say here is that elections aren't about proving that the incumbent is perfect. They are about proving that the challenger is better. Let me say that again. It's not about proving that Tim Fuller is perfect. Is Charles Keller or Troy Parsons Jr. a better option at this point? That is a powerful distinction, because we are asking people to replace 20 years of leadership. The burden is not just on the incumbent to defend his record, right? It's on the challenger to prove that his record demonstrates that he can do better. That's not bias, guys. If you have ever been in a court of law, having to prove something, the burden of proof is so tough. Cops know this. Lawyers know this. Individuals who have ever spent time in a court know this. If the burden of proof is on you, it's definitely just more than a he said, she said. They're going to look at the facts. So I don't expect everyone to agree with me and my positioning on analyzing these things. I'm going to put them out there. I'm going to give you my opinion on them. If you have a different opinion on what I put out there, that's your opinion, and you have every right to vote the way that you want to vote and to believe what you want to believe. But what I want and how we can move forward as a community is for us to stop treating questions, every question that is asked, like an attack. It's not that I don't trust Charles Keller to do the job. It is that from the burden of proof standpoint, from what I've seen, I don't see any proof that he can. That's my personal opinion on it. And if I'm talking about one of the most important jobs in Franklin County, I would say the same thing about Troy Parsons Jr. The question is not unfair to ask. This is the interview process. And we as the station, it's our job to ask these questions for the community. And we analyze things. That's what we do. It's not about taking it personal or getting your feelings hurt. That shows a level of immaturity to me from either side of it. Okay? Because I've seen things from all sides of this where people get offended and they start going off on the social media comments and things like that. And listen, there's nothing that you can threaten me with that I haven't already talked about openly or wouldn't be willing to talk about openly on the air about my past. So you want to threaten me, you want to come at me, you want to make this about me, that's all well and fine. You know, I've talked about things that I've gone through, from my depression and my struggle with suicidal thoughts and other things like that. You're not going to hurt me when it comes to that stuff. My personal history, though, is not what this is about. I'm not running for sheriff. I'm simply trying to lead and generate conversation around this election and make people think. Make people think. And hopefully make people have meaningful conversations. Not degrade other people and talk about people's families and stuff like that. So I just wanted to put that out there. That's where I'm at. I don't hold ill will. I don't have bad feelings towards anybody that said anything about me or come after me. I get it. Emotions run high. I get that people are very invested in the outcome of this thing, one way or the other. I don't have a personal problem with anybody involved in this. I'm just trying to talk about it in a realistic manner that makes people think and consider. And I have not, here's the ironic thing about this. The station has not received any money from any sheriff candidate. You don't hear commercials from any of the candidates on the station. And me talking about documentation, stuff that we have uncovered, stuff that we've researched, yeah, we give our opinion on things, but for the most part, our opinion is a simple reaction to the facts at hand. And there's nothing that has been said that is a personal shot at anybody or anything like that. Not once have I speculated on any of the nasty rumors that people want to put out there and stuff like that. That stuff doesn't belong here. What we deal in is facts, talking about the facts, and this is not about me. This is about the community. So, moving on. And honestly, I'll be glad when it's over. I don't want to talk about it anymore. And for people who say that it's for the ratings and other things like that, like we care about and we stir up drama for the ratings, we could have had a lot of ratings. We could have had a lot of drama in the comments section during the debates. Comments are turned off because I want people to sit there and consider on their own. I don't want them seeing the I don't want that. That's not what I want. You can say that it's otherwise. Do we like the ratings? Yeah. But guess what? We achieve the numbers that we achieve regardless. We have been. Regardless. So if this is your first time, welcome. If it's your last time, I'm sorry. We'll be back on the other side to wrap things up. It is the starting lineup. This is ESPN Radio Winchester.
This is ESPN Radio Winchester, where Franklin County comes to life. From local news and athletics to everything in between, we're proud to bring you the stories that matter right here at home. And it's all made possible by local businesses connecting with real people in our community every single day. When you support them, you support our local coverage. Over 75 years of Franklin County heritage. Want your business to be a part of it? Contact WCDT today. ESPN Radio Winchester. Franklin County plays here.
I'm curator of Abraham Art Gallery right on the square in downtown Winchester. Looking for something unique? Every month brings a new featured artist, original art to inspire and share with the community. Come in, explore, and discover art that's ready to go home with you today. Whether you're redecorating, collecting, or just need something that sparks joy, this is your place. We're open Tuesday through Saturday. Find us on Instagram and Facebook. Visit abrahamgallery.com or stop by at 106 North High Street. You never know what you'll fall in love with.
For over 75 years, one thing has never changed in Winchester, Tennessee. Hall Furniture has been there through it all. 3 generations, decades of trust, and the commitment to quality, value, and service that still comes first today. As we celebrate over 75 years in business, we want to say thank you to our loyal customers, our community, and to everyone who has made Hall Furniture a Winchester tradition. Hall Furniture, here's to another 75 years of helping you make a house feel like home.
Got a project to tackle or a party to plan? Skip the stress and rent it instead at Reliable Rental in Winchester. From tools and heavy-duty machines to chairs, tables, and event essentials, they've got what you need to get the job done right. Whether it's work or a weekend celebration, Reliable Rental makes it easy. Stop by 2433 Deckard Boulevard in Winchester, or check out everything they offer online at ReliableRentalFC.com. Reliable Rental. When you need it, they've got it.
If your life depended on the mission succeeding, what would you care about? Would you care about the demographics of the crew? The moon does not care about your politics, doesn't care about your hashtags. It does not care about where you lie on social media arguments. It doesn't care whether you're male or female or black or white or rich or poor or conservative or liberal or religious or atheist or anything else, because reality does not negotiate. It just is. You can disagree with the facts, but they don't care about your feelings. It is a starting lineup. Thank you for tuning in. This is ESPN Radio Winchester.
The future of healthcare starts here. The Southern Tennessee Regional Health System, Winchester and Swanee, are joining the High Point Health System with Ascension St. Thomas, a health network serving communities across the state. We're working together to expand access, improve clinical quality, and keep you close to home throughout your care journey. Your favorite providers aren't going anywhere. It's the same care you know and trust, now with a new name. High Point Health with Ascension St. Thomas. Learn more at highpointhealthsystem.com.
Well, that was an interesting last segment. Let's try that again. Back to Joe Abraham and Chewy. This is the starting lineup on ESPN Radio Winchester.
Back here on the starting lineup, Joe Abraham alongside Chewy and Plank. Johnny Hand, I just saw on his personal page, posted something, made me laugh, maybe a little bit too hard internally. It's a meme. It says, it's not about how many times you fall. It's about how many times you get back up. Cop, sir, that's not how field sobriety tests work.
Yeah.
All right. So, wrapping the show up, I did want to ask a question this morning before we hit the end of the show, Chewy. When did we get to the point where major television networks decided that the American people don't need to hear what the President of the United States has to say?
Yeah.
And here's my thing is, I'm not talking about whether or not people like Donald Trump. I don't care if you voted for him or not. I'm talking about something much bigger than Donald Trump. I'm talking about, how we do journalism. I found it fascinating last week that a lot of the major news organizations, and not in a good way, decided not to air the president's speech live. I mean, think about that. The president of the United States goes on television, and major networks are like, no. And regardless of the network's reasoning why, they said that they were concerned about airing claims about election integrity that they believed needed to be fact-checked before being broadcast. That's their explanation. Now, here's the thing. How has that worked out for you in the past? Because it didn't seem like you had to fact-check it the other way. When previous administrations would say that COVID didn't come from a lab or all of these other things that have happened, you're only fact-checking based on what you want out there. And this is the President of the United States. I guess it bothers me. I feel like Americans are allowed to hear from the president.
Yeah. Well, there's options. And also, I mean, I guess I can understand. I think I agree with you. But at the same time, Donald Trump has also spent the last decade and a half just screaming about how they're all fake news and it's all fake anyway. So it's like, why even play ball with the guy? So, but at the same time, you should have an amount of integrity. a little bit. Even if you hate the guy that much, dude, just show it live and tell him why you think it's wrong. You know what I mean?
Right.
But, you know.
Well, and that's the part of it I think that frustrates me is, give the other chance an opportunity. If you don't believe that it's correct, then you can talk about it afterwards. But he's the president of the United States. And to me, again, this goes down the road of, like, when we talk about the media controlling the narrative, and people are gonna say, well, you did that on Friday, you did the same thing. No, again, reported facts, and I have both currently and over the course of the time had an open door policy to everybody running for sheriff. If you want to get in and talk about it, the door is open. They've all got my phone number. They've all got the opportunity, and I have not once said, no, you can't come on. No, you can't talk about this. No, we're not going to report on this. If there is something there to substantiate and to dive into, we do it, and we give our opinion on it and that type of thing. But we have not once said, no, you're not allowed. And here's where it blows me away is that Donald Trump didn't do this research. Donald Trump didn't dive into all of this stuff. Yeah, he may have told them, hey, this is what I want you guys to look for, and sent them on a mission. But this is what they came back with, and he's just simply reporting on what they found. Regardless of all of that, he's the president of the United States. Like, if he wants to get on there and talk about his favorite flavor of ice cream, I feel like they should carry it. They have in the past. I don't know. It just
rubs you the wrong way.
Yeah, to me, I don't like it. I don't like it. I think that by refusing to show it, they probably made more people want to watch it anyway.
Yeah.
But the story wasn't about the speech. It then became about why won't they show the speech? I think we've reached the point where nobody trusts anybody anymore. The left doesn't trust Fox. The right doesn't trust CNN. Nobody trusts social media. I think social media is the one that people trust the most, which is ironic because, golly, the stuff that you see on there. Anyway, all right, so tomorrow on the show, we're going to have a lot more fun. We're going to get back into the spirit that is the starting lineup. I encourage you to jump in. Hopefully we'll get Handsome Rob in studio with us. I got to check with him, see what his schedule looks like. If he is, we'll get a chance to really dive into some of this SEC football talk. But I encourage you, be nice to folks. We are all trying to row in the same direction. We all want what's best for Franklin County. And regardless of how we get there, I want you to keep that in the forefront of your mind. These people are not your enemy. I am not your enemy. And you are not mine. Coming up on the other side, it is Reliable Rentals Swap and Shop. This is ESPN Radio, 1340, 106.9, WCDT Winchester.
This is Daryl from Columbus, previously from the Paul Feinbaum Show.
Check in scissor hands. I'm the wrong guy to ask, but what's the secret to a good haircut?
A good haircut makes you feel confident. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, when you get that haircut, you're going to walk out that barbershop, you're going to look in the mirror, and you're going to be like, yeah, that's it. And you're going to tip the barber.
The Paul Feinbaum Show, weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and on the SEC Network.
It's time for a community calendar update, presented by Minuteman Press in Tullahoma.
From community events to hometown happenings, it's time to catch up on what's happening around Franklin County. If you're looking for a way to make a difference this weekend, the United Way of Franklin County invites everyone to take part in its annual Stuff the Bus Day of Action. On Saturday, July 18th, volunteers will be collecting school supplies from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. at the Winchester Walmart. A few notebooks, pencils, or backpacks may seem small, but together they help local students start the school year with confidence and the tools they need to succeed. It's one of those community efforts that truly shows what Franklin County is all about. Families can also start planning ahead for a fun and active summer experience. Winchester Parks and Recreation is hosting its Learn to Try Kids Triathlon Camp July 20th through the 23rd at the Winchester Swimplex and City Park. Open to children ages 5 to 13, campers will build confidence while learning swimming, biking, and running skills, all leading up to the Kids Triathlon on July 25th. It's a great opportunity for young athletes to stay active, make new friends, and challenge themselves in a supportive environment. And if your weekend plans include a little live music while you kick back and relax, don't miss Allison McCormick performing live Saturday evening from 6 until 8 p.m. at Company Distilling in Lynchburg. It's the perfect chance to enjoy a summer evening with live entertainment just a short drive from home.
The Vols play here. WCDT 1340 AM, W295 AV, 1069 FM.